What's up, everyone? MK Tom Brady here. So, last couple of days, a lot of people have been really speaking out on things they don't like about the game. Did a podcast yesterday in which there was a pretty heated argument. And of course, I was kind of over the top. I'm a passionate guy. I kind of wear a lot of my passion on my sleeve. In this video, I'm going to attempt to be a little more level-headed about this. MK11, in my opinion, has gone through pretty much a trend where there's a long period of silence and then just a mass speaking out about things people don't like about the game, and then a long period of silence followed by a mass speaking out of what people don't like about the game. And this is a trend that has continued throughout the life of the game. And then there are a ton of arguments because there are people that will then speak out about what they do like about the game. And if you say you like the game, you're called a shill. If you say you don't like the game, you're a hater who's OSing, and so on and so forth. In reality, neither of which is true. It's just different strokes for different strokes. People like different things. People don't like different things. Now, some of this outcry is on the developer, and some is on the players. I'm going to get into the developer side here. When you put a game out and part of its billing is it's going to be this, that, or the other, and it doesn't end up being that, you're going to get complaints. For example, you see the MK11 trailer here. You see the two scorpions. When they did an interview with Ed Boon on this trailer, what's the deal with these two scorpions? Like, what's going on here? He says, well, the variation system is back. We're going to have variations based on different versions of your character's timeline. It's going to be a timeline game. Sonya comes out. Game comes out. Then there's characters like Sonya. No kiss, no leg grab, no bike kick. The upward bike kick move, she has no square boost, no cartwheel. What timeline is that from? In fact, a lot of these characters are not based on any timelines at all, and it's just kind of, when you say something like that, people expect to see that. Then you have another quote, and this is the quote I think everybody refers to, the quote where Ed Boon says Mortal Kombat 11 is going to be the return to footsies, the return of neutral, and be focused on that. And before we talk about characters leaping across the screen or whatever, just in the game itself, you can't have the return to footsies or neutral when 90% of the characters can't stop somebody from jumping consistently. That's just impossible. The very core, some of the mechanics that they did or didn't do completely go against some of the things that they use to promote the product. A lot of people got the game thinking, yeah, that's what I want, return to footsies, return to neutral, only to find out you still can't stop somebody from jumping. And of course, if you can't, it just left a bad taste in people's mouths. But that's not all there is to a fighting game. There are still plenty of good things that you can have. The next big thing they did that was wrong is you can never give the consumer something and take it away, right? You just can't do that. Like, when the beta was released, they allowed people free reign of customs. They could use all the moves at their disposal. And everybody used customs. Nobody used the preset variations. And yeah, NetherRealm did say, yeah, look, guys, we don't know if we're going to go customs yet or not. But the bottom line is you can't give the consumer something and then take it away and say, yeah, we looked into it and changed our mind. You can never take it back. The smart thing is to never give it. You're always going to get some blowback when you take something away that you've given them. When the game comes out, 2 variations per character. I'd say over half the moves in the game in general are not usable because they're locked behind custom variations, which are not playable in competitive modes. So you're forced to play these 2 variations. Then I added a 3rd variation, and, first of all, when you have all these, when you give people a product and you say, look at all that we've given you, but don't touch. These moves, these are not for you. it's still going to leave a bad taste in people's mouths. When you have these moves, these tools, steering players right in the face, it's going to just naturally cause a problem, right? Because why can't I use this? Why can't I use that, right? That's going to cause complaining as well. And then when you make like variation 3s, or like day 1 Gearus was pretty freaking strong, people are going to say, look, my character could be just as strong, but you locked these moves behind a custom wall. Meanwhile, this character or that character or that character gets to be dominant because their best moves are not locked behind a custom wall. So that also, it's going to cause a problem, right? Because the moves are right there, and you're saying these players can use this and these players can use that, but your best moves, I'm sorry, man, you can't use them. You're just going to get some blowback from that. And then, even when you open the game up to customs, like we have now in MK11 Ultimate, when you have banned moves, you had better damn well be sure that the moves that are banned are the most powerful moves in the game. Because when you ban moves that are not the most powerful moves in the game, and you allow the most powerful moves in the game to go unbanned, that's going to cause a lot of blowback and a lot of problems. This is why characters like Upgraded Jackie, Cetran, etc. get even more hate now than they did before customs were open. For several reasons. One, there are moves that are banned that are not even close to as powerful as their tools. But then even the skill slotting. In having a custom variation system, you actually show us how you put the variations together. And the fact that you, to balance the game, assigned moves skill point values. And then you made the very best moves in the game the bare minimum skill points. And you made some of the crappiest move in the game near the maximum skill value points. So even your own system, which you put in place to balance the game, we can clearly see is grossly imbalanced. You have Bionic Bounce for Jackie, or Cetrion's Teleport, etc., 1-slot moves, and a move like Katana's Adenian Fade, which is probably barely even usable, 2 slots. And the game is filled with these problems. Of course you're going to get blowback from this. There's no way around that. When you do things like this, there's going to be a lot of complaining. Then on the player side, the players crucified NetherRealm for this mechanic, that mechanic, 6 or 7 wake-up options, and they put all the blame on NetherRealm. You did this, you did that. Mortal Kombat 11 is the very definition, very best example of be careful what you wish for, because you actually may get it. Mortal Kombat 11 is the result of a decade of a demographic of just players who did nothing but complain and complain and complain. Zoning is too strong. It's people just run away from me all day. All they do is make me chase them. When I get knocked down, why do I gotta hold this or hold that? Just people wanting this removed, that removed, this removed. Until finally they made a game of just down one and throw. Because what else can you do when you remove everything? They strip the game down to its basic form, and that's why offense is so prevalent, because offense is usually naturally in the game. Defensive tools usually have to be put in. Offense in general is always going to be natural, right? I do my attack, I continue my string, I stop my string and do something else, etc. Right? That's just a natural part of fighting games. Zoning is not a natural part. A lot of keep away is not always a natural part, etc. But even the offense is watered down. The offense is watered down. The defense is non-existent, but it's watered down in general. Zoning doesn't really exist either. And what does, quote unquote, exist, that zoning, that's extremely watered down as well. So the offense, while watered down, is still the most powerful part of the game, which even makes the game feel more generic, because the most powerful aspect of the game is the offense, and that's super generic. So we got a game of down one throw, and it's people see that and they see a lot of the stripped down aspect, and they're like, well, NetherRealm's to blame here. This is the game the majority of people asked for, and then they weren't happy when they got it. So they blow NRS up for putting this stuff in the game, and then they blow them up for NRS taking the stuff out of the game, which probably has NRS feeling like, what can we do, man? What you complain you don't like zoning, you don't want defense, you don't want keep away, you don't want this, you don't want that. Even some of the now people don't want mid-command grabs, right? Even some of the offensive options get complained about. So they watered down the offense. They removed pretty much zoning. They removed keep away. They removed lame styles of play. They seriously watered down the defense as well. And they got crucified. Then there's the wake-up system. People like to say, oh, the wake-up system at least are defensive options. When you get knocked down, you don't need 7 options. You need a defensive options, not 7 defensive options. This wake-up system is not defense. It's offense masked as a defensive option. When people get knocked down, they are hunting combos. Most of the options they do when they get up lead to full combos. And of course, if they're wrong, they get full combos. But when you're getting up hunting full combos, that's not you looking for defensive options. That's you looking for offensive options masked as, well, since I'm on the ground, it's defense. No. You only need 1 or 2 options when you're on the ground. Maybe like the option of delay and a quick get off me move. You don't need 6 or 7 options. So in reality, it's really not defensive options when you're grounded. It's offensive options masquerading as defensive options because you think of it as, well, I'm on the ground, I must be on the defense. In reality, both the player standing and on the ground is on the offensive. That's why the person standing a lot of times will back up and let you get up, because they're not worried about your defensive options. They're worried about your offensive options disguised as, well, I got to get off the ground somehow. That makes it a defensive option. And of course, people are going to complain about that. But again, that's only in the game because people demanded things like this. Maybe not you directly watching this video, but more people than not ask for a lot of this stuff. In reality, Mortal Kombat 11 is a collection of them listening over the last 10 years, and they'll say, we'll take all the complaining that we've heard over a decade and put that into the game. And that is Mortal Kombat 11. So certainly there's some fault on the devs for bringing some of this on themselves with, some of the stuff that I mentioned earlier. But the players here are not without blame. In reality, it's both a combination of stuff that was said by the devs, which led to expectations which didn't get met, and them trying to put in what the players claimed they wanted for 10 years of complaining, and then all of a sudden when they got it, they actually didn't want it anymore. Oh, I changed my mind. Let me blow you up. This is pretty much the state of Mortal Kombat 11. In reality, MK11 is what it is. I would love to see the banned moves get, changed. But the real truth is this. Why do we complain about Mortal Kombat 11 so much, right? I mean, if it's a game we really, truly hated, 2 years into the game, we wouldn't still be here complaining. We would just move on to something else, right? People still talk about the game in this manner because we want to like it. There's, truthfully, a great deal of this game that it does right, which, of course, we give NetherRealm no credit for because we're just too busy blowing them up. But there are a lot of things that this game does right. And we see the potential, and a lot of the things that it does wrong, like the second and third chance mechanics and wake-up system, improper skill slotting points, which is a big complaint that a lot of people have. you know, we look at this game and every day we want to play it. We get up, we say, man, I want to like MK11. It's a game where people try to like. I personally try hard to like this game. I try hard to want to play this game. Even when the ground puddle got banned, I still gave it a chance, right? Hey, I'm going to try this. And it just, you know, people will say, well, you would feel differently if you got this in the game or that in the game. I would, because at least I would feel like it would be a little more fair as far as like consistency. Like, I feel like if you're a player and you look at a move and say, why is this move allowed, but this move is banned when this move is 10 times better? Why is this move 1 slot, this move is 2 slots? And things like that are just going to irk people. And I'm just one of those people that it irks. But like I was saying, the real truth is, we really do want to like this game. And there is quite a bit that we do enjoy about it. So what do? We complain about the turnoffs of the game because we want so badly to like it. No matter who complains about the game right now, next week, they're still going to fire the game up and give the game yet another chance. And then after they get done complaining, the next week again, guess what? They're going to fire the game up and give it yet another chance. And we're going to keep doing this because we keep looking for, hey, we want to like it. Maybe we'll like it tomorrow. Maybe we'll like it the next day, because there is a lot to really like. We see the potential in the game. We see the engine is built around things that we feel should be solid. There's just a lot of other things in the game that kind of are counterproductive to that. And I think that's really where we are. The lesson to be learned here is, while MK11 probably won't change, they'll probably never redo the skill slotting. The banned moves will always stay banned. And I don't know that anything will ever change. But this is a lesson to be learned. That you don't really know what you want. What you think you want, when you get it, you actually realized how wrong you were. You realized how much you missed everything that you complained about. And now you want it back. And as a community, this is where we need to learn. We need to obviously continue to support MK11, support the community, support the tournaments and the up-and-coming players. But for the next game, we've got to learn. We don't know what we're talking about a lot of times, right? Because a lot of what MK11 is exactly what we've asked for. Only we didn't like it once we got it. Let me know what you guys think. Sound off in the comments. Thanks for supporting all my stuff. I appreciate all the love and support. And stay tuned for more content.